Good morning students. This is class 11th, subject chemistry, chapter 3 classification of elements and periodicity in properties. This is lecture number 5. Topics of today's lecture are ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy and electronegativity. So we will begin with ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy is the minimum amount of energy required to remove the most loosely bounded electron from an isolated gaseous atom so as to convert it into gaseous cation is called its ionization enthalpy. Suppose we have an atom, okay, this is the atom which is represented by capital M. Now if we provide energy to this atom, then this atom will lose electron and it will acquire a positive charge, okay, and this is the electron which is lost by metal atom. So this is how you will represent it. Here we will take one example of sodium. This is structure of sodium. In sodium 11 electrons are present, okay, so these yellow spheres, can you see it? These are the electrons. In outermost shell 1 electron is present and the force of attraction between nucleus and outermost shell electron is less, and the force of attraction between nucleus and first shell electron is strong. Okay, now if we give energy to this atom, then outermost shell electron will absorb energy and it will get ejected from the shell. Now the amount of energy which is required to eject the electron from this atom is known as ionization enthalpy. You will notice that ionization enthalpy depends how tightly this outermost electron is bound to the nucleus. If force of attraction between outermost electron and nucleus is strong, then more amount of energy is required to remove the electron. And if force of attraction between outermost electron and nucleus is weak, then less amount of energy is required to eject the electron. That means less ionization enthalpy. So here we will say the amount of energy which is required to remove first electron, okay, which is present in the outermost shell, that is the first ionization enthalpy. And if we want to remove second electron, okay, now we have to move to this electron, okay, which are present in second shell. So the amount of energy which is required to remove second electron, that will be second ionization enthalpy. And second ionization enthalpy, okay, you will represent it like in this way, that M positive, there is already a deficiency of one electron. Now we will remove one more electron, okay, so amount of energy, this is the amount of energy which is required to remove the second electron. Then M positive will become M2 positive and this is the electron which is lost by M positive, okay. Remember, all these ions are in gaseous state. Now, if M2 positive lose one more electron, then what will happen? The amount of energy which is required to remove one more electron, that means third electron from the M2 positive, then M2 positive will convert into M3 positive ion and this is the electron which is lost by M2 positive. Okay, now we will compare first ionization enthalpy, second ionization enthalpy and third ionization enthalpy. You will observe after removal of first electron here, after removal of this electron, the force of attraction between nucleus and electron will become more strong due to increase of effective nuclear charge. So, second ionization enthalpy will be more and third ionization will be more than second ionization enthalpy. Okay, so this is the order. Third ionization energy will be highest and the first ionization energy, it will be the least. Now, this is the explanation part. When one electron has been removed from the neutral gaseous atom, the positively charged ion formed has one electron less than the number of protons in the nucleus. As a result, the electrostatic attraction between the nucleus and the remaining electrons in the cation increases. That means effective nuclear charge increases. Effective nuclear charge is the force of attraction between nucleus and outermost electron in the presence of the repulsive forces which exist between the electrons. You are already familiar with this term in second chapter. Now, in other words, the positive ion holds its remaining electrons more firmly. Therefore, the energy required to remove another electron from the positively charged ion or second electron from the neutral atom must be higher than the first. Next is factors affecting ionization enthalpy. So first is nuclear charge. Nuclear charge means the force of attraction between nucleus and outermost electron. So the ionization enthalpy increases with increase in nuclear charge. Okay. If nuclear charge is more, that means force of attraction between nucleus and outermost electron is more. So that means we have to provide more energy to remove this electron. That means ionization enthalpy will be high. So this is the reason. This is due to the fact that with increase in nuclear charge, the electrons of the outer shell are more firmly held by the nucleus and thus greater energy is required to pull out an electron from the atom. Second factor is atomic size or radius. Ionization enthalpy decreases as the atomic size increases. So here we will take one example. Okay, this is first atom and this is second atom. Size of first atom is less than second one. So here electron is present in the outermost shell. And here also electron is present in the outermost shell and we have to remove the electron. So you will observe the atom which is smaller in size. In this case, more amount of energy is required to remove the electron because distance between nucleus and the electron is less. So force of attraction is strong. As force of attraction between these two are strong, so that means we have to provide more energy. Only then we can remove the electron. But here you will observe that force of attraction between nucleus and outermost electron is weak because distance between nucleus and outermost electron is more. So that means we have to provide less amount of energy to remove the electron. So here in these two atoms, in this atom less amount of energy is required and here large amount of energy is required. So ionization enthalpy decreases as the atomic size increases. As the distance of the outer electron from the nucleus increases with increase in atomic radius, the attractive force on the outer electrons decreases. As a result, outer electrons are held less firmly. That means lesser amount of energy is required to remove it. Now third factor is shielding effect of the inner shell electron. As the shielding of the inner electrons increases, the ionization enthalpy decreases. Here, these electrons which are present between nucleus and outermost electron, okay, these electrons act like a shield or screen. Okay, if shielding effect of these electron is more, then what will happen? The force of attraction between nucleus and outermost electron will become less strong. That means force of attraction between these two is weak. So we can easily remove this electron. So if screening effect is more, that means ionization enthalpy will be less. Fourth factor is electronic configuration. If an atom contains exactly half filled or completely filled orbitals, then such an arrangement has extra stability. Therefore, the removal of an electron from such an atom requires more energy than expected. So here we will take some example. For example, beryllium, whose electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, has higher ionization enthalpy than boron, whose electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Now you can see that in case of beryllium, the s orbital are fully filled. Okay, and fully filled orbitals are more stable. So that means it is difficult to remove electron from fully filled orbital. Here, in case of boron, only one electron is present in p orbital and total 6 electrons can be filled in p orbital. So only one electron is present in p orbital, that means it is less stable. So we can easily remove this electron. So if we can easily remove this electron, that means less amount of energy is required. So less ionization enthalpy. Now here we will take example of magnesium and aluminium. Atomic number of magnesium is 12 and atomic number of aluminium is 13. So electronic configuration of magnesium is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. And aluminium 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1. Only one electron is present in 3p orbital and here two electrons are present in 3s orbital. Okay, so that means 3s orbital is completely filled, but 3p orbital is incompletely filled. Okay, so it is less stable, so we can easily remove this electron. So that means less ionization enthalpy is required. But here more amount of energy is required to remove the electron as it is fully filled. Now next example is nitrogen and oxygen. Electronic configuration of nitrogen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Atomic number of nitrogen is 7 and atomic number of oxygen is 8 and electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Now here you will observe that only 3 electrons are present in 2p orbital. So it is half filled because in 2p orbital total 6 electron can be filled and half filled electronic configuration are more stable. But here in case of oxygen 4 electrons are present in p orbital. So it is neither half filled nor fully filled. So that means this configuration is less stable as compared to the electronic configuration of nitrogen. Okay. So as it is more stable, so that means more amount of energy is required to remove the electron from the 2p orbital. Because atom will try to be in its stable electronic configuration. Okay, so more ionization enthalpy. But here we can easily remove electron because it is not half filled or fully filled. Now next is noble gases have the highest ionization enthalpy in their respective periods due to more stable electronic configuration. Noble gases means 18th group elements. 18th group elements are fully filled. That is why they are more stable. Okay, so more amount of energy is required to remove the electron. So they have the highest ionization enthalpy. Now next topic is variation of ionization enthalpy in the periodic table. So first we will discuss about variation along a period. So as we move from left to right in a period, ionization enthalpy increases with increasing atomic number because size decreases and nuclear charge increases. You will see here that when we go left to right, then size of the element decreases, and as size decreases, ionization enthalpy will be more. That is why ionization enthalpy increases when we go left to right in a period. But there are two exceptions here, like beryllium to boron. Okay, you can see here when we go from beryllium to boron, ionization enthalpy should increase. But here there is exception. Okay, from beryllium to boron, ionization enthalpy decreases. Why? We have already discussed this example. Because as you can see, due to its stable electronic configuration. Okay, because beryllium has fully filled s orbital, that is why more amount of energy is required. Okay, but in case of p orbital 2p, there is only one electron, so we can easily remove electron. So due to stable electronic configuration, ionization enthalpy of beryllium is high. Now next exception is from nitrogen to oxygen. Again, due to stable electronic configuration, because nitrogen has stable half-filled electronic configuration, that is why ionization enthalpy of nitrogen is higher than oxygen. So this is also an exception from nitrogen to oxygen. Now, variation within a group. The ionization enthalpy keep on decreasing regularly as we move down a group from one element to other because size increases. So it is easy to remove electron from outermost shell. Okay, so when we go down the group, then size of the atom increases, and as the size increases, that means it is easy to remove electron from the outermost shell in their gaseous state. Now next topic is electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy of an element may be defined as the energy released when a neutral isolated gaseous atom accepts an extra electron to form the gaseous negative ion. So it is opposite of ionization enthalpy. In ionization enthalpy, we were removing the electron, but here we are adding the electron. Okay, so when we remove the electron, we provide energy. But when we add electron, then energy is released. You have to keep this thing in your mind. So the energy released when a neutral isolated atom, gaseous atom, accepts an extra electron to form the gaseous negative ion. It is represented as delta EgH. Here Eg means electron gain, H enthalpy, delta means change. So change in enthalpy of atom. Okay, enthalpy means energy. Now this is the equation that how electron is added to isolated gaseous atom. Okay, so this is isolated gaseous atom, and here addition of electron. Okay, when this atom accepts one electron, then it will convert into an ion, negatively charged ion, X negative. Okay, so now in other words, the electron gain enthalpy of an element is a measure of the firmness or strength with which an extra electron is bound to it. If electron is added into the isolated gaseous atom easily, that means more amount of energy will release. Okay, so value of energy will be more negative. And if addition of electron in the isolated gaseous atom is difficult, then less amount of energy will release. That means the value of energy will be less negative, or it may be positive. So here there is a diagram of chlorine atom, that in chlorine atom there are 7 valence electron, okay, and chlorine needs only 1 electron to complete its octet. That means 8 electron, because 8 electrons are more stable. So here chlorine can easily accept 1 electron to gain stable electronic configuration. Okay, so now here it easily accepts 1 electron and large amount of energy will be released. That means electron gain enthalpy is negative. Second electron gain enthalpy is when we add second electron to the anion. Okay, the amount of energy released is known as second electron gain enthalpy. So after the addition of one electron, the atom becomes negatively charged, and the second electron is to be added to a negatively charged ion. But the addition of second electron is opposed by electrostatic repulsion, and hence the energy has to be supplied for the addition of second electron. Thus, the second electron gain enthalpy of an element is positive. So we will take one example to understand this. So when we take example of oxygen atom. So when oxygen accepts one electron, then it converts into O negative ion. Okay, and energy is released. Now, when we add another electron in O negative ion, then already there is one extra electron in oxygen. So force of attraction between nucleus and the electron, extra electron, is weak. So it is not able to add second electron easily. So now to add second electron, we have to provide energy. Okay. So energy is absorbed to overcome the strong electrostatic repulsion between the negatively charged oxygen negative ion and the second electron being added. As there is already one extra electron in O negative, so when we will add second electron, then there will be repulsion between electron. Okay, so we have to provide energy so that we can add extra electron in negatively charged oxygen atom. Okay, this is a diagram of oxygen atom. As you can see that there are 6 valence electron. Okay, so when we add one electron in oxygen, then there will be 7 electron in outermost shell. Okay, but when we add second electron, already oxygen has one extra electron, and after addition of second electron, it is very difficult to stabilize it because there will be electron-electron repulsion, and repulsion between electron cause distability. Okay, so that is why we have to provide energy so that we can add second electron in the oxygen negative ion. Now this is how you will represent it in equation form, that first electron gain enthalpy. This is isolated gaseous atom in ground state. Ground state means when it has normal energy and it is in gaseous state. So when we add one electron in this atom, then oxygen becomes anion, O negative ion. Okay, so delta Eg H1, because it is first electron gain enthalpy, it is minus 141 kilojoule per mole. Okay, this negative sign shows that energy is released. But when we add second electron to this O negative ion, then what will happen? The addition of electron is not easy. Okay, so we have to provide energy. So here you can see that the value of electron gain enthalpy is positive. Positive enthalpy means energy is absorbed. Now, factors on which electron gain enthalpy depends. So, first factor is atomic size. So, as the size of the atom increases, the distance between the nucleus and the last shell, which receives the incoming electron, increases. As a result, the force of attraction between the nucleus and the incoming electron decreases, and hence electron gain enthalpy becomes less negative. So here size of first atom is less and size of second atom is high. So here you will observe that if we add electron in this atom, then force of attraction between nucleus and electron is strong. So it will easily add one electron. But as distance between nucleus and outermost electron is more, so force of attraction is weak. So it is difficult to add this electron. Okay. So out of these two, more amount of energy is released in this one and less amount of energy is released in this one. As more amount of energy is released in this one, that means more negative value of electron gain enthalpy. And here less amount of energy is released, that means less negative value in this one. Now second factor is nuclear charge, that means the force of attraction between nucleus and outermost electron. So if nuclear charge increases, the force of attraction between nucleus and the incoming electron increases, and hence electron gain enthalpy becomes more negative because it is easy to add the electron. Okay, if force of attraction between nucleus and electron is strong, okay, that means it is easy to add the electron. Now, third factor is that electronic configuration. Electronic configuration of elements having exactly half-filled or completely filled orbitals are very stable. As a result, energy has to be supplied to add an electron, and their electron gain enthalpy is have large positive values since they do not accept the additional electrons so easily. So if electronic configuration is stable, in that case addition of electron is not easy. That means less amount of energy will be released. Okay. In fact, they will have positive electron gain enthalpy. Now, variation within a group. So in general, the electron gain enthalpy becomes less negative as we move down the group. Both atomic size and the nuclear charge increases. That is why electron gain enthalpy become less negative. Okay, it is difficult to add electron when we go down the group. But the effect of increase in atomic size is much more pronounced than the nuclear charge. So with the increase in atomic size, the attraction of the nucleus with the incoming electron decreases, and hence the electron gain enthalpy becomes less negative. So we will say that electron gain enthalpy decreases down the group. Now there are two exceptions. When we go down the group, then there are two exceptions in electron gain enthalpy. Okay, these are very important. First one is the electron gain enthalpy of second period element oxygen is less negative than sulfur. Okay, this is not according to the regular trend. So this is an exception. So electron gain enthalpy of oxygen is less negative than sulfur and fluorine is less negative than chlorine. Okay, but when we go down the group, size increases and electron gain enthalpy decreases. But here there is an exception and here also. So why fluorine has less electron gain enthalpy and why oxygen has less electron gain enthalpy? You see, this is an exception, and answer of this exception is that this is fluorine atom, okay, and this is chlorine atom. Size of fluorine is small. According to regular trend, if size is small, that means force of attraction is strong. So addition of electron is easy. But here there is exception, okay. So when we add electron in fluorine atom, then size of fluorine atom is very, very small. So if we add electron in fluorine atom, then there will be repulsion between the electrons. As there will be the repulsion between electron, so it is not easy to add one extra electron. That is why less amount of energy is released. But in case of chlorine, if we add electron, then it will be easy to add as compared to the fluorine atom. So here we are comparing these two, fluorine and chlorine. Okay, so in chlorine we can easily add electron, but in fluorine we cannot easily add electron due to its small size. Okay, the same answer is for the oxygen and sulfur. Okay, so you can consider this atom as oxygen and this as sulfur. Due to small size of oxygen, there will be electron-electron repulsion, due to which less amount of energy is released when we add electron. So you can see the answer. Reason: the unexpected behavior is due to the fact that element of second period have smallest atomic size amongst the element in their respective group. As a result, there are electron-electron repulsions within the atom itself, and hence the additional electron is not accepted with the same ease as is the case with the remaining elements in the same group. Now there is one more question, that halogens, that means 17 group element, have the most negative electron gain enthalpy. So understand the question. The 17 group element can add one electron easily. So think about it. Why 17 group element? These element can add one electron easily. Think. Because in their valence shell 7 electrons are filled, okay, and they can easily accept one electron to complete its octet. That is why they can easily add one electron, and if they can easily add one electron, that means their electron gain enthalpy will be more negative. Okay, so here the reason, this is due to the reason that the valence shell electronic configuration of the halogen is ns2np5. So they require one more electron to acquire the stable noble gas configuration. Noble gas configuration means 18th group configuration, ns2np6. So they have a strong tendency to accept an additional electron, and hence electron gain enthalpy are highly negative. Now there's one more question. The electron gain enthalpy of noble gases is positive. Okay, the electron gain enthalpy of 18th group element is positive. Why? So think about it. Because these elements have stable electronic configuration, fully filled electronic configuration. So why they will add one extra electron? Okay, because they are already stable. So it is very difficult to add electron in these elements. Okay, if you will add one electron in these atom, then what will happen? You have to provide very large amount of energy. Okay, so that means electron gain enthalpy will be positive. So reason is, this is due to the fact that atoms of these elements have completely filled subshells. So there is no room in their valence orbital for the additional electron. As a result, energy has to be supplied to add an additional electron. In other words, the electron gain enthalpy of noble gases is positive. Now variation along a period. So electron gain enthalpy increases when we go left to right in period due to increased nuclear charge and decrease size. Now next topic is electronegativity. What is electronegativity? It is completely different from electron gain enthalpy and ionization enthalpy. Okay, these are energy, but this is a property of an atom. Electronegativity of an element is the tendency of its atom to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself in a covalent bond. Covalent bond is formed by sharing of electron. For example, HCl. Okay, if you will see the Lewis dot structure of HCl, then hydrogen has 1 valence electron and chlorine has 7 valence electrons. So after sharing the electron, hydrogen will complete its duplet and chlorine will complete its octet. Okay, so that means these electrons are shared by these two atoms. Now, chlorine atom is more electronegative. Electronegative means that this atom will attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. Okay, so that means position of these two electron is towards, slightly more towards chlorine atom. Okay, here. So that means chlorine will acquire partial negative charge. So here this is partial negative charge, that means small. This is delta, that means small. So this chlorine atom will acquire small negative charge and hydrogen atom will acquire small positive charge. Because chlorine is more electronegative, it can attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. Okay. So here it is represented by X. Okay, and it is pronounced as key. Now, electronegativity of any given element is not constant but depends upon the following factors. Now, what are those factors on which electronegativity depends? So, first is oxidation state of the element. If oxidation state of the element is more, then electronegative will be more. Like if we compare iron, here iron is present in 3 positive oxidation state and here it is present in 2 positive oxidation state. That means iron has more tendency to attract the shared pair of electron. Okay, so it is more electronegative and it is less electronegative. Next factor is nature of the substituents attached to the atom. This is very important. Okay, and here we will take example of ammonia and NF3, NH3, NF3. So here you will observe that nitrogen is attached to 3 hydrogen atom and here nitrogen is attached to 3 fluorine atom. Okay, but electronegativity of nitrogen is different in this molecule and in this molecule. In NH3, nitrogen is more electronegative. That means when there will be sharing of electron between these atoms, then nitrogen will attract shared pair of electron towards itself more. Okay, so nitrogen is more electronegative and hydrogen is less electronegative. So there will be partial negative charge on nitrogen and partial positive charge on hydrogen atom. But if we take example of NF3, then what will happen? Here fluorine is more electronegative and nitrogen is less electronegative. Okay, so here we are doing comparison. that which one is more electronegative. So here out of these two, fluorine is more electronegative and nitrogen is less electronegative. So fluorine will acquire partial negative charge and nitrogen will acquire partial positive charge. Okay. So here fluorine is more electronegative. Now trends in groups and period of electronegativity. So the electronegativity value increases along a period from left to right and decreases down a group. Why? This is due to the reason in period from left to right, nuclear charge increases and atomic radius decreases. Whereas when we move down the group, atomic radius increases. So here there is a table. Now the question is how you will come to know that which element is more electronegative and which element is less electronegative. Like if you have to compare electronegativity of these elements, then just keep this thing in your mind that when we go left to right in period, then electronegativity increases. Okay, and electronegativity depends on size. As size decreases, electronegativity will increase. So here carbon is more electronegative than boron, nitrogen is more electronegative than carbon, oxygen is more electronegative than nitrogen, and fluorine is more electronegative than oxygen. This trend is up to the 17th group. Okay. And if we go top to down, then electronegativity decreases because top to down size, atomic size increases. Now, here there is a very important thing that which element is the most electronegative in periodic table. So, fluorine is the most electronegative element and cesium is the least electronegative element. So, that's all for today, students. This is your homework which you have to do today. Do NCERT exercise question number 14, 15, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24. So note down these questions. If you have any doubt or queries, you can ask me in comment box or you can email me or you can ask on @Quark site. Thank you and have a nice day.